What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Citizen Banter. We have 3 interesting stories for you. A finance story about Accenture and their rebrand, a public policy story about the Cincinnati Bengals, and finally, an infrastructure story about Elon Musk and the Boring Company. I hope you enjoy. Accenture Song, the new Spotify and Apple Music competitor. Just kidding, Accenture is not getting into the streaming business, but has interestingly decided to rename its interactive practice to Accenture Song. Accenture is one of the world's leading consultancies and professional service firms. Think along the lines of Deloitte, Bain, McKinsey. David Droga, the new CEO of Accenture Interactive, decided to rebrand Accenture Interactive to Accenture Song as he felt it reflects the firm's long-term mission, meaning the name, Accenture Song, has a certain soul to it and will help shape the future culture of the firm. Accenture Song is composed of 40-ish acquisitions that the firm has made over the last few years. Notably, Droga 5 will not be included under this new banner and will retain its current name. Droga 5 is a firm started by David Droga and was acquired by Accenture in 2019. Droga justified the preservation of his company's original name by saying it's the only global brand agency that we have and it's recognized by clients and talent everywhere. It's pretty interesting that David Droga came up with the Accenture Song name but doesn't want his original company, Droga 5, to be rolled up under that banner. The new name is a bit puzzling, and many of the company's employees seem surprised by the rebrand and unsatisfied with the name change, as you can see by the countless fishbowl comments. However, you can't argue with financials. Accenture Interactive, now Song, raked in $5.9 billion in 2021, which is a 27% increase from last year. Any thoughts on the rename? Is it actually good and the general public is just missing the point? Does it really even matter what the business is called? Speaking of consulting firms, our public policy story is about the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals and the city of Cincinnati paid $375,000 to California-based firm Gensler to study Paul Brown Stadium, the NFL stadium of the Bengals, to assess if the 22-year-old structure needs to be rebuilt or upgraded. Yikes, could you imagine having to rebuild that stadium? When initially built, it was dubbed the worst stadium deal in the country and cost the city of Cincinnati taxpayers upwards of $280 million. And that was just a projected cost. It actually soared far above that 280 number. It was financed without any state or federal dollars and was literally entirely paid for by Hamilton County, the county where Cincinnati sits. This deal was actually absurd. If you would be interested in a video about how Savvy Mike Brown, the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, fleeced the city of Cincinnati, comment below. The Gensler study thankfully found the stadium is not in need of a total demolition and rebuild, but it did find that it would cost taxpayers $494 million over the next 20 years to update and maintain the structure. The study was clear to call out that there is no structural damage or danger to Paul Brown Stadium, but the upgrades would be for things like new seating arrangements, scoreboards, ramps, elevators, waterproofing, everything under the sun. The Cincinnati Bengals stadium lease expires in 4 years, and man did Savvy Mike Brown pick a smart time to finally invest in the team. With Joe Burrow and crew going to the Super Bowl, let alone winning its first playoff game in 30 years, the entire city of Cincinnati is riding high. Any future levy or tax would most certainly pass. Mikey B strikes again. Finally, our last story for today's episode is about Elon Musk. And no, it's not about Elon buying Twitter. It is actually about another one of his companies, the Boring Company, which has raised over $675 million for infrastructure projects. The company is best known for its Las Vegas Convention Center Loop, which is a 3-station transportation system consisting of 1.7 miles of tunnel. The new funding is earmarked for hiring across engineering, operations, and production, as well as growing and expanding loop projects. Elon's vision is to build underground tunnels in major cities to reduce overall traffic congestion.